What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all a quick but detailed update of Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. We may even bounce out to the 1-day time frame a little bit here. Right now we're sitting at $11,759. And what I wanted to do was point out basically some of the things that we were dealing with, some overhead resistances, some supports, main areas that I'm going to be looking at as we continue through this crypto uptrend that we've been having. First thing I want to point out, I'm not going to get into it, but Google searches for buy crypto at highest point since January 2018. That just broke 33 minutes ago. So, I mean, you know, guys, that optimism is coming back into the market, but it's typical to have these retracements and these breathing periods so that we can cool down RSI so that we can go up and tackle higher areas. We can't keep the RSI up at 90 for, 4 or 5 months straight. So there's going to have to be these breathing periods. In my opinion, it's very healthy for Bitcoin. So what we're looking at here is basically almost like a rising wedge that we've been dealing with, and now we're getting to the bottom. We basically almost just touched the bottom part of this rising wedge, this trend line that is still holding for us here. We got about 4 or 5 touches off this bottom trend line, so that's a good thing. But what we're fighting with now is this 60 moving average. We have lost on the 4-hour time frame the 15, the 30, and now we're fighting with this 60 moving average. So it's important that we bounce off this area so that we can start testing the top part of this rising wedge, which is important because typically we're bouncing back and forth in these things, guys, almost like a channel type deal. And in my opinion, crypto, we're still going to be moving higher in the longer term. I do believe when we had this major break to the upside out of this symmetrical triangle where we'd been moving sideways for so long, basically it started in May and it took us all the way to about July. So we were just really moving sideways, chopping back and forth before we had this major move. And to me, that major move was significant. If this would have been a major downside break, we'd be having a whole different discussion right now. But out of that consolidation, we broke to the upside, and that's a big deal. So now we're basically having this rising wedge, but on the 4-hour time frame here, we've been having this negative divergence. Do you see the lower highs that have been coming in? So what we're going to look to see is if we can find some support at around 37 on the RSI. Right now we're at 41, so we have cooled down. We would have enough room to be able to move back to the upside if the bulls step back at this area. Now, if we do start dropping down through this trend line, I'm going to look to see if 11,382 will hold as support. If that doesn't hold as support, I'm going to be looking down to that $10,500 range, 10,400 right in that area. This was that previous resistance that we broke out through. We had a quick wick, we back tested it, and then we've basically been in this rising wedge since then. But you can see how important trend lines are, guys. Trend line breaks, the formations of patterns. Right now we're just pushing, and a lot of times in the crypto space when we're in an uptrend, we'll get in these rising wedges, which is typically more bearish, and in a lot of cases you'll break to the downside. But in crypto, when we're really moving up, you'll see a lot of this rising wedge, and then we'll get a whole nother leg to the upside that just blows people away. So the main overhead resistance area we'd be looking at, then we're going to have this red box from about 12,883 up to around 13,962 are going to be the areas that I'm looking at here. So if we bounce back to the 1-day time frame now, I want to take a closer look at these candles and how we closed yesterday. And also, guys, if you get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Hopefully I can get another video out today on some altcoins, but I'm very busy with my business, so I apologize for that. But right now you can see we're fighting with this 15 moving average. Right now, we wick down to that trend line. As you can see there, it's been defended, but we need volume to stay up above this 15. If not, this 30 moving average is a sweet spot as well that you'll have retracements with wicks back to a lot of time, and that would put us down around 11,187. So anywhere between there, guys, from 10,500 and up now, I wouldn't be shocked if we had to cool down even more. You know, it just is what it is. This is what needs to happen so that we can continue to make these large moves to the upside. RSI on the daily now is back down to 57, so it's at a healthier range if we do want to find support off this and start moving back to the upside to challenge over $12,500. So, you know, it's important to really pay attention to these things. And if we get into trading view, the technicals, we're going to be looking at a 6 sell, 10 neutral, 12 buy, oscillators dead neutral right now, moving averages 5 sell, 1 neutral, and 11 buy. And then the things that are showing as a sell is our MACD right now. Momentum's a buy, everything else is neutral. So this is just a tough area right now. We're just, you know, if you're a long-term investor and you're sitting in your positions, this is where you should just sit in them, let them ride, and continue it on. Short-term traders, I'm sure you're probably taking some profits up in these areas. So, you know, guys, if you get some from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless each and every one of you. Really watch these areas. Take care.